Thanks so much, Doran, for having me on. Oh, wait, I was laughing. Now you're laughing. I thought that was a terrible ending. Okay, let me say that again.
All right. Hey, Pia.
Hey,
Oh,
Doran.
super awesome to have you on. Super awesome to be doing this. Thank you for everything, for the content, and for doing this chat. Yeah,
Thanks so much for having me. I'm super, super grateful for the opportunity. So it's just exciting to get to chat.
awesome. Um, and you're the first person we're doing this with, so it's
Yay.
on every level. I wanted to first of all, if you want to introduce yourself, what do you do? How did you come to do it? Whatever you.
Yeah. So my name is Pia, and I'm an author, an editor, and a book coach. So I help people write and self-publish their books, mainly in the self-help genre. So those are the types of books I've written. And this is what drove me to create the float content, is because I'm really, really obsessed about talking about personal development, spiritual development, mental wellness, mindfulness, all of that stuff. So yeah.
Right. Um, how did you come to be interested in that particular part of it? Because you're an editor, right? So I don't suppose every editor also wants to talk about motivation and you know all of that. So what did you have like struggles in that area? Did you meet many people who did? Like, how did you get that?
I think I've always been really interested in personal development, and books for me were one way that I could express myself and tell my story and help other people with different things that I've learned in the personal development field. And so that's kind of what drives me to help people write their books. So um, in a way, it's related in a what's it called, indirect way. So I use books as the modality to help people share and express their message, if that makes sense.
Of course, absolutely does. And so when we started to talk about that, and you tried relax, and you tried like the relax part of float or the
Mhm.
experience, and then you tried imagine. And I remember you were like, this, I feel like this is about questions. Can you talk about that? And that's what you did, right? You created questions.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
tell us a little bit about that. How did you get to that? Because it's very cool. I didn't think about that, about questions necessarily, when I thought about content for Imagine.
Yeah, I think when I experienced it and when I visually see something, I just kind of get, it's very much an intuitive process for me. It wasn't intentional. I think as soon as I put the headset on and I saw the visuals and I heard the music, it just made me want to ponder life, because I saw your other videos as well, but they didn't have the same essence. So it made me think of other things. But this one specifically made me want to ask questions about life. And it's like, it was the same feeling as when I'm hiking and I go to the top of a mountain and I'm sitting there and I want to kind of contemplate my life. And it had that same energy, I think, for me.
Nice. That's really cool. And what I really liked about it as well is that, so the way it's designed is differently than relax. Relax basically is designed to soothe the nervous system, but also the mind, right? People go to sleep with that. People are saying that it's very helpful for them with insomnia. So it really relaxes everything. So Imagine is supposed to still soothe the nervous system,
Mhm.
but invigorate the mind. And I found it so interesting, and also so encouraging that you tapped right into that without, I don't think, any prompt from me. And he was like, oh, yeah, yeah. The other thing is something else, but this one wants questions, because this one, people thinking about life and answering their own things. And I thought that was really awesome.
Yeah, it's actually really cool that you say that too, because it really goes to show that that creativity that was coming out and the ideas that you were coming up with your team, you and your team, it had the effect that it wanted. It must be coming from somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it often is almost eerie. It's almost, but in a good way,
Yeah.
that that people are parroting to us exactly what we were trying to do. And
Mhm.
every time that happens, like in this specific case, every time that happens, I find it very magical. That something clicked with other people that kind of, went through the images and the animations and the music, and people just
Mhm.
it almost as if we wrote an email, explaining it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Um, did you have any specific thoughts when you created the material? Like, um, was there anything that guided you in, let's do this and let's not do that? Was there anything that got left on the like
Mhm.
you did and then you kind of let's not use that?
Um, I mean, for me, everything is such an intuitive process. So you sent me some visuals and the music, and I watched it over and over and listened to it over and over to kind of as I was coming up with questions. And I wanted to make sure that whatever content I was coming up with for you guys was going to make sense for Float as well. So I started off with just kind of brainstorming everything that was coming out. And a lot of what I like to write about and talk about with my clients is a lot of stepping into your best self and making sure you're present in the moment and just being more mindful. And so it was just a kind of a process of dumping everything and then just choosing the best ones and removing the ones that weren't. I had some repetitive ones, so I just removed those as well. So it's very much a creative process, but it was super fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I forgot that I sent you some material to sort of immerse yourself in that. So I'm very glad that it helped that way. And definitely the vibe of it is just right, and people have reacted to that as well. Which thank you guys to anybody who
Yes, thank you.
how they felt. We really appreciate that. Um, I wanted to talk about. I want to tell a story about when we started to just test that. So we had some preliminary test recordings that you created, and I had them in the headset, and we went to a conference in Toronto, and I had to give a pitch, and I was very it was the third day of the conference. It was a tiring thing. I was super tired, and I couldn't find, like, I was trying to rehearse it and
Mhm.
try to figure out what am I going to say, and I just couldn't get into the vibe, and I was like, it was getting right up there. It was like an hour before, and I still don't know what I'm going to say on the stage in about an hour after thinking about it for a week. Um, and so it was pretty stressful. And I was like, well, I do have this float thingy that stress, so maybe I'll try it. And so I went. They had a quiet room, dark quiet room that they used for praying and stuff like that as well. And I went in there, put on a float, put on Imagine, and I started the the observations. I don't remember if I even knew, if I even remembered that it's actually your content there. But I'm sitting there and I'm experiencing Imagine. I'm relaxing a little bit, and then I hear those questions. And so the first question was, how can you um, create something good in somebody's life today?
Hmm.
Paraphrasing, you said it
Mhm.
nicer, but I and I have that question, and in that space of Imagine, with that sort of atmosphere that you're at, that kind of stuff, I was like, yes, that's so. I connected it immediately to the thing I needed,
Mm.
and I was like, well, yeah, uh, I should just go up there, and instead of asking myself what I can achieve from that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I should give something to somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give an experience for them, right? I should give something, right? And so that was the first thing. And then the other question, the next question right after that was about how can you have a little bit of fun today? Like,
Aw.
oh yeah, I should just go up there and have fun. And so it's not about stress. There's no stakes. There's nothing. I'll just enjoy the experience, and I'll do my best to give them something and have fun. And with those two questions, I actually stopped the observations, and that was really good for me. I stayed there for another 10 minutes. I relaxed. I was thinking about how, what I can say for fun and for giving something, and it went really, really well.
Oh my gosh.
You know,
That's amazing. It's funny how sometimes all we need is just that perspective shift or perception shift to get us out of that overthinking mind and just to remember that life should be fun and these things should be joyful, yeah, fun for us and to be giving something to someone. And when we step out of ourselves and focus on how we are serving someone else, it just becomes less about us and more about them, and it becomes easy.
yeah. And
Yeah.
and I thought, first of all, that it was pretty amazing for me, just the amount of shift that it created in my hour of need, so to speak.
Mm.
Um, I thought it probably wouldn't have worked the same way if I just heard the content while sitting in that room without the being, first of all, shifted into that atmosphere by the visuals and by the music. So I think it kind of conditioned me or soothed me enough
Oh, wow.
for me to be able to accept that message. Because if I'm
Right.
just resting and I don't feel like I'm like, oh, I have to do it in an hour. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Mm.
That it wouldn't necessarily hit, right?
It reminds me of how hypnosis works. They put you into the relaxed state. So then they could put in the new message or belief or whatever. So it's almost like it put you into that state where you were open and receptive enough that, while so many people try to do it while they're in their waking stress state, it doesn't come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I really hope that it did something of the same thing for our users.
Yeah.
Guys, if you haven't tried it yet, and if you haven't tried it in your hour of need, when you're stressed, like try it. It really helped me, and I think it has a huge potential, especially with those questions, because they really direct you. The other kind of observations, they're fun to listen to, and you kind of get to think about it in a more abstract way, which for relax is amazing, right? But for
Mhm.
imagine, for solving a problem, relax is not for that. Imagine is, and I think your content is absolutely, Pia, your content is actually, right on the money there.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad it was super helpful.
Yeah. Is your business, is it now specifically about books, it's for writers, or is it for anybody who wants to fulfill their
That's a good question because I kind of joked to somebody the other day that I'm like a life coach disguised as a book coach because the way that I do it is not like I'm not here just to teach people how to write books just for the sake of writing books because I feel that's a little bit boring and my background is with, like career development and personal development and HR in my former film career and recruitment. Like I help people pursue their dreams, and that is really what motivates me. And through that, books can help you create that passive income. It can help you build a business, share your message if you're really passionate about something. And so when I work with people, it's not just the books, I'm also helping create their dream life out of that. And, there's a lot of business and marketing that goes into it. It's all connected. And so I guess the answer is it's more creating your life than just being an author. And that's why I tend to work with people more in the nonfiction genre. So like with self-help, spiritual, entrepreneurship, memoirs, some poetry and stuff. I don't really do the fiction books because I'm not really trained in that, but yeah, I really love helping people get their message out there, and we make the world a better place with those positive messages. So
Absolutely, yeah. That's, in the end, that's why we're all here.
mhm.
Okay, so somebody can just, they want to have they want to write a book. That's like a life goal of theirs, but they're not sure what they want to write about, or maybe they have like a very general idea,
Mhm.
but they don't know how to do this first step. They would, they should talk to you.
Yeah, it's very, what's it called, customized, because some people own businesses and they want to have a book for their business, but some people want to write a memoir because maybe they went through something really traumatic and they want to help other people. So it's very different for everybody.
That's really, really cool. So what would be the most important advice for people who are maybe just starting, or they want to start writing a book, and at what stage they reach you, and where? Like, what's the process?
I would say, and this is tied a bit to the float content that I gave you guys, is envision your dream self or your ideal self, whatever that is for you, and what are they doing and what message are they giving to the world? Like, you really want to envision who that is and work backwards, because that is your purpose. And then when you can get clear on why you want to share the message that you want to share, then definitely reach out to me. And I work with people at all stages. I have a self-study course, or you can work with me one-on-one. Yeah.
That's awesome. And I have to say, I did not expect that advice. I understand now what you mean, because I was expecting something about writing, something about the creative process of it all. But you went further than that, and you were like, well, design who you are as a person who already wrote the book. Like,
Yeah. Who do
is
you want to become and work
and then
backwards
work.
from that? Yeah.
That's a really, really cool advice, and very, very smart.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being a part of this, and for this and for everything. I'm sure we're going to continue cooperating in the future.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Doron, for having me on. And thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. Okay, let me say that again. Thanks so much, Doron, for having me on. Oh wait, I was laughing. Thanks so much, Doron. Now you're laughing.
All right, you guys, thank you so much. Keep floating. I hope you'll have a great floating experience with Pia. Thank you so much. Thank you, Pia. And bye-bye.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Bye, everybody.